Unfortunately, dementia is a huge health problem for Aboriginal and Torres Strait people and their communities. So dementia is about 3 to 5 times more prevalent in Aboriginal people than non-Aboriginal people. But really, the main risk factors that we've found for dementia, many of them are modifiable. So that's really some way that we can focus our research and look at dementia prevention and hope to reduce the number of Aboriginal people living with dementia.
Dementia is not something that people know a lot about. Aboriginal people have expressed an interest to want to know more. They want to know how to manage a family member that might have dementia. And it's very confusing, and for a lot of families it's also it creates lots of anxiety, because when a person starts to develop dementia, they could start to forget things, not remember things, and people don't know whether that's just someone getting old or whether it's part of an early onset of dementia. So just learning to recognise it and how to manage it are some of the challenges.
Also, too, it's difficult sometimes when you have a clinician that's, maybe, got the a clinical gown on and stuff like that, and gloves and stuff. People they're triggers for some of our elders, especially ones that have been through stolen gen or who are stolen generations.
From personal experience, my challenges is there's not so much information out there, and what I found is that if you're experiencing it really hits you really hard, socially and emotional way. I guess by saying that it not only hits myself, but it hits it affects the whole family.
Even for everyone in the community, there's been it's difficult to separate out what dementia is in the mind and the way we think and function and the way that's impaired. There's some confusion about whether dementia is really a mental health problem.
Connecting it with the health system, you really do need to understand the long history of colonial impacts and government interventions, and to really understand that there's been an incredibly difficult and often excluded relationship for Aboriginal people and government services and health services, and it still exists today.
We started with a round table really of researchers and some community members to talk about the process that we'd go through, but it was really important for us that this was a community-driven process and we could really identify community priorities. So we ended up contacting researchers and some service providers from each state and territory around Australia, because we really wanted all community to be able to have a voice and a say in the development of this roadmap. So then I think over 250 people were seen, community members were seen, just asking about what their priorities were for dementia research, and really the guiding principles, what they thought was important to how researchers worked with community. So one of the key concerns and calls, I suppose, for research from community seemed to be around more information on what dementia is and how to recognise when a family member really needs help, and then who to contact or who to talk to when these symptoms appear. So really people wanted more information around what dementia is and what can be done about it.
This roadmap is around acknowledging Aboriginal knowledge systems and Aboriginal ways of knowing, being and doing. It's important about engaging with the elders and the community in any research that is carried out and done. So the priorities, I think, are really around working with communities in order to develop strategies and interventions that are going to be effective and work with the community.
We do need more research around these matters. There isn't enough for a start, so that people could be become more culturally aware of what is happening to our people in their journeys with dementia, and how we can approach these. And again, it's about closing the gap, I suppose, as well.
The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander roadmap for dementia research and translation is important because for the first time in history, increasing numbers of Aboriginal families are living with dementia, affecting either individuals themselves or important older family members. And every new issue needs stimulus and new approaches and new information and a guide to how to improve understanding at a community level of the condition, understand the need for improved supports, and guide better health service delivery.
I'm really encouraged and excited by the roadmap and where it's going to be leading research in dementia, and I really encourage people to share it and to celebrate it, and I think it'll have it's a new generation, a new direction for dementia research amongst Aboriginal people.
Very much I commend the work that's been done. It has been a tremendous effort across Australia for all of the Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people, researchers, community members, government service providers, government funders involved in the whole project, and to come together as a team and to develop a very comprehensive roadmap, I think, is testament to the commitment and the work that people have done.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be involved with the development of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Dementia Roadmap. I encourage everybody in Australia to read it if you haven't read it, and think about the impact it's having where you work or you live, and pick up on messages and use it immediately to guide attention and action in this important area.
Please use the roadmap within your organisation and share this networking. We need to get this message out and using it, so definitely look into it.
Yeah, so one of the things that really came out of our consultations was the need for more Aboriginal researcher-led dementia research. So we really need to find ways to, I suppose, attract Aboriginal researchers into the dementia research space, and to be able to support Aboriginal researchers who are passionate about the area to work with community in the area of dementia research. So that's a really big priority that came out of our roadmap consultations.